What's up, Vault Dwellers? You fresh and new arrivals to the Wasteland, you. Did you just get introduced to Fallout through the new Amazon show? Pretty cool, right? I think so. They definitely could have done a lot of things way worse, but they made a good enough serviceable series for new people to get into Fallout. So you want to play the games. But the first two Fallout games look aged, are hard to pick up, and have issues running on a modern computer instead of one that is loaded up on MS-DOS. 3 and New Vegas need to be set up to run properly without them crashing your PC because you alt-tabbed at a wrong time. And luckily enough, Fallout 4 has an unofficial patch that you can download very easily to install. The game looks pretty, and it's the most modern out of all the main entries, besides Fallout 78, which is okay. This game is better anyways, and you don't have to rely on your friends getting on to play it. This video is to help you newbies out who haven't gotten a chance to play Fallout before with the best build in the game. How to build your character, how to level up, and get some of the weapons you might need. Oh, also, last week I promised that I would make a video about Grimgor Ironhide from Warhammer Fantasy and his lore. Yeah, I lied to you. Openly. So what? I released that video a week from this video being uploaded, so don't worry your little heads. So special stats, they're the stats your character has and tell you what you can and can't do and what you can and can't level up, with all them being explained in the game pretty neatly. For special stats, you'll be putting 1 in strength, 8 in perception, 1 in endurance, 1 in charisma, 3 in intelligence, 7 in agility, and 7 in luck. So we got the eyes that could spot the smallest teensy rad roach from a mile away, the cardio to run a marathon, then some, and the luck to be a guy that you low-key expect cheats at D&D by lying about his dice rolls. But you're not walking on sunshine and spitting on rainbows either. When it comes to melee or being close to somebody, you're weak. You'd be hitting them with a pool noodle, and when it comes to health, you would get knocked over by a gust of wind. And you can't talk to people. You're just really bad at talking to people. That's okay though. I got like 3 charisma IRL, so I can't be talking. That won't matter though, because you won't be doing melee, and for the most part, you won't be getting close to anything that can hit you. Let's go over some of the starting levels of the build and some of what you can do to make yourself the best, fastest scaling Vault Dweller the Wasteland has ever seen. First, when you go back to Sanctuary and go into Sean's room in your old house, underneath a drawer, Your Special book will be there staring at you. It allows you to bring up one special stat of your choosing, by 1. Huzzah! Put 1 in perception so you can bring that accuracy up in VATS. VATS is assisted targeting that uses your action points to make attacks that are based off of hit percentages, being a little bit more luck-based than anything. With you being able to target parts of a creature that you're aiming at, VATS will be the main bread and butter of this build, with the stats that improve it being perception, which allows you to have better hit percentage, agility, which makes you have more action points so you can shoot more in VATS, and luck, which does a few things including giving accuracy and filling up your critical bar, in which if you allow to go through, scores a critical hit for you. When using VATS, the head is usually the weak spot of a creature, and it's usually what you want to aim at. But if something's a little too large and running at you a little too fast, you can shoot it in the legs, and if you want something to stop hitting you, you can shoot it in the arms. But for the most part, you should target the head. They explode real nice in this game, like watermelons. Like the watermelons you put one too many rubber bands around watermelons. The skills you're gonna be getting in this build revolve around VATS, damage, and critical damage, making it so VATS is the most overpowered it can possibly be. When level 2 is reached, when you help Codsworth clear out Sanctuary, your first level up should go towards Idiot Savant. This perk makes it so you gain 3 times the amount of XP you would normally get from a tick of XP gain, and it procs more often based off of how much intelligence you lack, and luck. We're some dum-dums. So here's a secret. Once you get access to the workshop in Sanctuary, there's a way to level up many times almost instantly. And by instantly, I mean this is going to take you like an hour. When you build anything in a settlement, you get a few points of XP. So if you scrapped everything in Sanctuary besides the workbenches, you should have near a metric ton of wood and steel for our nefarious purposes. If you make nothing but wood and steel shelves and then scrap them to gain half of the build cost back and rinse and repeat, it can make it so you have even more of these shelves until you are fully out of materials. This entire experience most likely will take about an hour or 2 hours of your life, where you'll suffer from a deathly case of carpal tunnel syndrome. It'll make your hands feel like they have TV static inside of them, for a while at least if you don't do stretches beforehand, but you should also be be about level 15. And when you finish off this Herculean task of spamming buttons for 2 hours, you can finally move on. Nah, just kidding. We gotta go over the first 15 level ups before you can leave this dastardly domain. And your level up should be spent like this. You want to get Idiot Savant at level 2 and level 11. These are priority because of the XP gain they give. Going from a giant 3 times XP gain on an off chance to a whole 5 times more XP on any occasion. This even works for turning in quests, making it so 500 XP turns into 2,500. This is if you want to reload a save right before a quest ends so you can turn it in with Savant proccing all the time. Making it probably the most overpowered perk in the entire game because it allows you to get all of the other perks so easily and so fast that you can slingshot yourself into late game with this build fairly early. Just don't ever go to point 3. Stay away from that because it's cursed, and by cursed I mean horribly coded and buggy, and ruins the perk to the point where you should just ignore putting a third point into it. So don't do it. It's a trap. Besides that, in no particular order, you'll have 2 points of Rifleman that make it so you do 40% more damage with non-automatic rifles, and the same thing goes for Gunslinger, but you'll be putting 3 points into it, doing 60% more with non-automatic pistols. Non-automatic rifles and pistols are the weapons that you are proficient with in this build, being weapons that are ammo efficient, that can take a whole lot of different ammo types. There are even a bunch of pipe weapons at the start of the game being your best friend because there are multiple different ammo types that they can take, with them having differing classifications based on the type of grip or stock that is on the weapon, with lots more weapons like it found throughout the game with modifications being done through the game's weapon modding system. With pistols and rifles showing up all the way to late game that can be found at vendors or on enemies, even if you can't just get the unique guaranteed game-breaking weapons just yet. You'll have to be patient. We'll get there eventually. I gave you Idiot Savant, and I gave you a way to cheese all of the XP systems, so simmer down a little bit. You take the one and only point, you can put an Action Boy at this point for the Action Point refreshment rate, making it so you can take more shots constantly. And VATS with the 25% regen, making your treks across the wasteland even faster with you being able to run more consistently. Bloody Mess gives you some nice flat damage that allows you and your weapons to do even more damage on your big criticals. It's a nice little fighting boost that also turns people into gore pinatas. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Put 2 points into better criticals that make it so your criticals that already do 50% more damage do another 50% more damage with another 100% more damage, making it so you do 300% more damage. Take a swig of your purified water every time I said more damage there. That makes it so you can pretty consistently erase any boo-boo bear from our plane of existence by pressing that critical button that builds up little by little every time a shot is taken in VATS, allowing for a guaranteed hit and critical damage as long as they aren't hiding behind a wall. You can even store multiple crits if you're not feeling right about dishing out death like a gunslinger you are, with a ranking crit banker. Because if you don't, everyone's going to make fun of you at this next get-together, man. They're going to mock you. They're going to say that you are critically stinky and no one wants that, right? 2 ranks in Gunnet is really good to have, making it so you can upgrade all your weapons at the start of the game, making it so you can keep up with damage by changing receivers, making use of one of Fallout 4's best features, the weapon modding system. But these are the perks you should have when you first venture out into the wasteland. What do you do once you get out there? You have to find something that will give you more stats for your build. A bobblehead. So, bobbleheads. You'll need to find one of them. There are a whole 20 of them in the Commonwealth for you to pick up, like Jiggies and Banjo-Kazooie. The one we'll be searching for is the Perception bobblehead, but there are bobbleheads for each special stats, and others for other general uses. The Perception bobblehead will give you an extra point in perception. Duh. If you follow the main storyline, it will lead you to the Museum of Freedom. The Perception bobblehead is in this area. Take a hop, skip, and a jump over to Concord, which will be going anywhere for the main story. And at the top floor of the Museum of Freedom, where you find Preston Garvey, you'll find this bobblehead grinning at you from this table. Which brings us to the special stats we'll need for the rest of this build. At level 20, which is about mid-level, you should have a perk tree that looks like this. Level up Rifleman so your rifles do more damage, no duh. More points in Action Boy makes it so you can regen your AP much faster, while making it so your breaks of volleys of fire from VATS VATS are more 5-minute nuka breaks and not 30-minute long recesses. Concentrated fire makes it so you gain more accuracy based on how many times you've targeted that same body part on a creature in a row. This works wonders when you use a pistol because of their low AP usage, making it so you can just kind of set and forget a whole mag dump of 10mm or revolver ammo on some poor soul's head until 5 or 10 shots of your volley actually hit their mark. Bloody Mess gives you another 10% damage, and Crit Breaker lets you store 1 more crit, making you deal death against larger enemies in a way easier way because you can pump 3 whole crits in them like a deathly fuel pump, keeping the card that is this build going. Write down in the comments below if you like card-based humor. Maybe we can go over how to check a card's oil in the next video too. Now, on to the good stuff. The stuff that makes this build truly outrageous. It's the unique weapons that can break the game, turning it into a shooting instead of a post-apocalyptic survival game that Fallout used, turning it into a post-apocalyptic point-and-click looter unlike any other. Also, these weapons come from quest lines that have to do with the main story or other parts of the game. So I'll try to point out which quest lines to go down, but I don't want to spoil any of the events that happen in said quest lines, just for your newbies. Don't say I never did anything for you. The Deliverer, which I usually accidentally call the Deliverance, is a 10mm pistol that has the unique effect of having better hit chances in VATS, as well as having less action points consumed in VATS too. This masterwork of a pistol is your best friend. 10mm ammunition doesn't cost too much and allows you to build up crits for your crit banker incredibly fast. You can honestly, no lying, fire this thing in 10-round volleys that will hit their target eventually because of the concentrated fire perk. You can get this one by going down the railroad quest line and clearing out the switchboard during the quest tradecraft. Make sure to upgrade this thing with better receivers, high-capacity magazines, better barrels, and you should be right as rain. Also, the weapon model is just frickin' sweet and completely unique. Kellogg's pistol is a 44 Magnum revolver that can be found in the main storyline, in the main mission Reunions. The weapon itself does amazing damage due to it taking 44 ammo, but it can't be styled into a cowboy's revolver, which I'm pretty mad about. This one is instead a sleek, modern, gentleman's revolver. The damage that the revolver does is great, but its unique perk it has makes it truly special. If Kellogg's pistol dispatches an enemy with a critical hit, then all action points are instantly refreshed. If you are ever in a situation where you need to get AP instantly, keep a crit stored up and switch to Kellogg's pistol to bring it all back to you like an AP boomerang when you hit somebody right in the head with a crit. But the best gun in the game is the Overseer's Guardian. This beautiful piece of machinery is a machine that makes 1 bullet into 2 bullets, meaning that it can dispatch its targets super hard, doing double damage for no good reason. You can find it being sold by Alexis Combas in Vault 81. It can take most ammo types because of the customizations that can be done to it, with there being a lot of customizability based on what kind of rifle you want it to be. This weapon is legitimately the best thing in the game, and I could spend an hour preaching about the excellence that it is, this amazing piece of military hardware, but has to be held and used and seen to be believed. So go get it and try it out. Oh, wait, you need money to get this because it's sold by a vendor. Let's talk about some ways to get some caps. First and most foolproof way to get caps is to loot your way across the wasteland where you can steal from your enemies and friends alike. Get the most caps you possibly can. Get by dumping your inventory at any merchant that has caps that you can get. The other way you can do it is becoming a water merchant, where you build water pumps and filters at your settlements. This makes it so after a while, about an hour in real life time, purified water shows up in the settlement's inventory. If you take that water and put it in some other storage case, it will refill in that hour. So you can sell all of it at merchants and get some sweet caps for relatively free, making it so you can eventually get the Overseer's Guardian. At level 40, which is basically endgame, even though you can level up infinitely and get all perks, you really start to round out the rest of your build, getting points to throw into the largest damage dealing perks out of the entirety of the perk trees in the game. But before we do that, we gotta pick all of our tasty list of confectionery abilities and perks. It should look something like this. You max out Action Boy, Rifleman, Gunslinger, and better crits. Just for more damage, Gun Nuts should be maxed out so you get all modifications needed for any weapon, which is good because you'll be getting perks based around sneaking, critical damage, and suppressors now. Sniper makes it so if a rifle has a scope, it has better headshot accuracy and VATS at the max level, so make sure you put a scope on your Overseer's Guardian so it shoots a little more true, with concentrated fire helping out in VATS too in general. Put at least 4 points into sneak so you can crouch and be hitting dinkers out of the park on people's heads. And to put a little something into your morning coffee, you should also get Mr. Sandman and Ninja all maxed out. All these perks supercharge your critical hits into being much more deadly. Deathclaw giving you trouble? Not if you're crouching and you hit it with the power of Vault Tech assisted targeting. You're dishing out nukes worth of damage for giggles like it's the Great War all over again. Your attacks with added bonuses give you 10 times more than what you would normally do for damage, as long as your weapon has a silencer on it while you're sneak attacking, making you a glass cannon that doesn't need health because nothing can hurt you, and not needing to be good at melee because your weapons do it better for you. This build might not be the most exciting or one that has the most interesting things you can do, but it's kind of a catch-all for combat. The game starts playing itself at a certain point, where your actual choices are your placements on the map and your stealth, and where you would hit somebody when you're in VATS. But there's one thing that's always guaranteed though. Straight up overwhelming damage that can make even the scariest, most HP hardy monsters shiver their timbers. Freelance! Why didn't you take any skills on lockpicking or hacking? You deserve to take a I survived 100 hours in the glowing sea in real life challenge, you freak. First of all, rude, not cool. Secondly, these checks all the way up to Master can be done by the companions Kate for lockpicking and Nick Valentine for hacking. If you can't open something up, just bring Kate or Nick Valentine with you and they'll do it for you. Freelance, you fool! How about carry weight? Can you even carry your own weight? Wow. Dude, slow your roll. You can make your companions carry your junk and other things that you don't want or need on your person. Freelance! You didn't bring up armor! Degenerates like you belong on a cross. Hey, shut up, man. That's not a way you should treat somebody. And armor really doesn't matter because you won't usually take damage, but if you know how to get some legendary pieces of gear or try to get some, equip ones that bring up your perception, agility, or luck, and ones that take down your action points needed to fire in VATS. Whew, that's all I have for this video. This one's a bit of an offshoot of the videos I usually make. I make videos on Warhammer Fantasy and 40k usually. If you like this video and my covering of Fallout content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and tell me to make more Fallout content in general. I love Fallout. I played it since the first game came out and have gone back and played the entirety of the mainline games in the time since then and now. So it definitely wouldn't hurt to cover one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. Till next video, fellas.